The Inside Joke featuring Russ Diggity and Johnny Thunder. We are back, folks. Hope you enjoyed segment 1. This is officially segment 2. Nothing is sponsored yet, but pretty soon we will get sponsors for these segments because we are blowing up like crazy. Johnny says he has a $6 check for the show already.
Yeah.
I got recognized on the street. It was pretty cool. So,
Did
I mean, I
you?
think the show's blowing up. Yeah, I did.
Who recognized you? Your dad?
My
'Cause
neighbor,
I know your dad listens to the show.
my neighbor. He said, "Hey, Russ, how you doing?" I said, "Okay, I'm doing good."
That's not
Yeah.
being recognized for the show. He just knows who you are.
Well, I was on the street and he knew who I was, so
Have I told you the story about how I was recognized from YouTube in Atlanta last year?
go for it.
I was walking around. We were at a Monday Night Raw taping after WrestleMania, and I was walking around with my other YouTube buddies, and this guy comes up to me. He goes, "Johnny Thunder, I love your videos." And he's all excited. He takes a flipping picture with me and everything, and he had me sign his ticket. It was the weirdest thing. I'm thinking to myself, like, all I do is make videos on YouTube. Why is this guy, like, freaking out that he's meeting me?
Well, maybe he's really excited. I mean, you said what? At one point you had 1,000 subscribers,
Yeah.
and you had a wrestling YouTube page, and you were at the wrestling event of the year. So
Yeah,
I
it
guess
was
it's
that
not that unlikely.
that's being recognized, Russ, not your neighbor knowing who you are saying, "Oh, hi, Russ."
Okay, that was obviously a lie, but true story. I was recognized once, not for this show,
Mhm.
but I used to do a show called RSBN with my buddies Rob and Rob down in Carbondale for WIDB, the student-run station there, which I used to work for. And one day I used to work at the J.C. Penney down there, and one day I was at J.C. Penney. I was ringing somebody up, and this dude's like, "Your name is Russ, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, I listen to RSBN a lot, man. I love that show." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like he knew my voice, which I thought was awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I love the show. I can't wait to listen to it today." I'm like, "Yeah, man, cool. Thank you, man, for listening." And I was just blown away because that's never happened to me before. And
It's a weird feeling.
I know, but it's still cool. Like that made my day. That made the rest of the shift go by a lot quicker.
Well, maybe one day the show gets so popular we'll be doing conventions and stuff, and I'll charge $50 for a signature. You'll charge like 5 or something.
Yeah, I'll charge 5 and just give me a hug and I'll give you an autograph and a picture. Just a hug. That's all I want.
uh,
All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of entertainment type things.
mhm.
Let's first get this turd out of the way because I want to talk about something real.
Okay.
Johnny and I saw Silent House
Oh,
last Friday. It was awful. It was really boring. It is the Olsen twins' sister basically running around a house scared for 80 minutes or so. And then at the end you find out, well, I don't know if I want to give away the
no!
ending.
Don't give it away. We're trying to make people not see this movie.
And at the end you find out it's her the whole time, that there's no one's in the house trying to get her or dad or uncle. Really, it's her the whole time. She's the one who attacks her dad and kills her dad and then kills her uncle and then she walks away. So it's in her head the entire time.
It was such a waste of time and money. It was ridiculously awful.
I
Like,
mean, we went with a couple of our friends and both of them fell asleep. So yeah, it was just a bad movie. I mean, I thought it'd just be a little bit better, but after a while, it's just her like getting scared and going to room to room to room after hearing a voice, and you don't know if there's actually any real danger. So that's why it's not scary because you don't think like, all right, is there danger or no?
mhm. It's like as you said, all she did was walk around for 88 minutes. The concept of a movie in one shot was so interesting to me that I wanted to see it. But now I'm glad they don't do that because there's just so much they could have cut out of this movie. Like there's so much walking. Like as you said, like she would just be walking room to room after she heard a little tap on the door or something.
There's a few parts where I'm like, okay, what's going on? Where she gets out of the house, she's walking down the road, she turns around and sees a little girl just standing there staring at her, and then she turns back around and nobody's there. That was the one part of the movie where I'm like, okay, at least something kind of interesting happened.
The
And after that, it was just all downhill.
The best part of this movie is when I was sitting next to Matt, our buddy Matt, and he had fallen asleep like half an hour in. So he wakes up the last like 10 minutes, and he just like freaks out. He's like, "What is going on right now?" There's like a bloody
So,
toilet seat.
oh yeah, like when the little girl is like in the tub with bottles and there's blood everywhere and there's blood coming out of the the walls. Yeah, if you woke up to that, you'd be really kind of freaked out.
It's not worth it, guys. It looked interesting, but trust me, it's not worth the $10.50 that I paid for this thing.
Oh my God, it's just. I mean, she was hot. I'll give the movie that. They had a very hot start of the movie. I mean, I'll give the movie a 3, and I'll give her boobs a 10.
I'll give the movie a 2, and I won't give her boobs anything because I don't do that.
You can if you want to.
She was attractive. That's all I'm going to say.
She was attractive.
So was
But
that other
doesn't make
girl.
the movie good.
The other girl is attractive, too.
That other girl looked like iCarly.
But it wasn't. I
You know
looked
that
it
chick
up.
from iCarly? She looked exactly like her.
Hmm. I know her name, just I don't want to say it because that would really embarrass me to all of our listeners.
Okay, fine.
Miranda Cosgrove.
There you go. You know iCarly's name. I don't think that was her, but
It
you never
wasn't her. I really doubt it was her.
know. Yeah, let's get that turds out of the way. So do not go see Silent House. I'll give the movie a 3 just because there's a few interesting parts. Besides that, it was crap.
Out of what? Out of 100?
No, I'll be nice and 10. It got 30% love for me. That's it.
Oh, it got 20 from me.
All right, but let's move on to something good. The Walking Dead, second to last episode of the season happened last week, and it was a big one. You better have seen it by now. If not, spoiler alert, Rick finally kills Shane. Shane is dead now. What happened was Shane took their prisoner. I think his name was Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Took him out, made him seem like he was going to take him back to his place, and Shane was going to join the new group. Instead, what Shane does is he breaks the guy's neck, leaves him there, makes it seem like the guy got away from Shane, and he was going to bring Rick out to an open field and kill him. Rick saw it coming, and Shane was ready to pull the trigger, but Rick came up and stabbed him.
It was just so intense. It's insane.
The whole episode was just good. I mean, I was really thought they were going to wait to the season finale before Shane died or before Rick finally got him.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it happened, the showdown was great. The way it was shot too, the one shot where Rick's facing, they're both facing the same direction. Shane's behind Rick, and you see the fog rolling in, and it's just dark, and you see the silhouette of both guys. That's an amazing shot.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people were upset that they didn't see Randall die. Like, the camera didn't really show Shane breaking his neck. They just heard the noise, and they just kind of, like, showed a tree. Like, I read that a lot of people were pissed off about that, but that's not really a reason to get seriously mad. And,
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason they did it is to keep up the mystery.
I, like you, thought that Shane was going to die, like, the end of the season, like, the season finale. Like, I thought that would have been a good ending to the season. But looking at next week's preview, that episode looks insane. Like, I love the shot at the end of this episode where Rick and his son were just standing by the body, and then over the hill they saw all the walkers coming.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, they didn't even notice them coming, and now it looks like the whole rest of the episode is them fighting walkers. There's a whole horde of walkers coming, and I love it where I can't wait to see Herschel in this episode because he's like, this is my farm, and I'm going to defend it till I die. And you just know it's going to be nonstop, just bloodshed and violence, and it's going to be so intense. You know people are going to die.
Yeah.
Who are your predictions for who's going to die this episode?
I think the whole episode, the ending of it, this is going to be the episode where they leave the farm because I don't see them staying in the farm at all next season. I think it's going to start with them on the road again, going somewhere else. So I think Herschel is going to like distract the walkers somehow to get them all to go after him while he lets the others get away, and Herschel's going to die. I could see, like, I don't know, Herschel's like, doesn't he have a kid, like the boy who's just randomly there?
Yeah, he has a couple other family members that don't really get airtime.
I
I don't know
think
if it's like his old wife or something, and then he has a son, and he has 2 daughters, not just Maggie. He has the other daughter too.
I think the other daughter and his son and Herschel are going to die, and Maggie's going to go with them. I think that's what's going to send Herschel off, like that his 2 kids died. There's one left. He's going to do whatever it takes to save her. So he sends her off with them. They go in like the truck and drive away while Herschel's left to distract the walkers, and then they're off the farm, and they start somewhere fresh.
I actually think the whole family's going to die, Maggie included. I think she dies, and then that way next season Glenn is just heartbroken and he's all depressed and just makes him more reckless of a character.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Carol, Sophia's mom, is going to die just
Yeah.
because I don't know what other purpose she can serve for the show. I think she might die. I wouldn't be surprised if T-Dog dies.
Hey, no, T-Dog, he had his moment. He had
As
his
much as
moment.
John Gray loves him, I don't know. I could see him dying just because, again, they don't really use him that much. So
I think that was the first time in the second part of this season where he actually talked in an episode. Like,
that's true. Like I said, I don't hate the character. It's just they don't do anything with him. They don't give him any storylines. Every other character has storylines. So I'm just like, all right, can you do something with the guy? Just having him be an extra in the background.
it just looks really intense. Like just the shots they had in the preview, like just everyone's chaotic, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Daryl is just gonna.
Oh, Daryl, yeah.
He's just gonna be such a badass in this episode.
hmm I don't want it to end this season too. Like I want it to go on, but this is going to be like the best finale they could probably do. And what do we have to wait until like next October again for it? That's a long wait.
It is. It's a very long wait. It's gonna suck, but we're gonna have to, just suck it up. And also in last week's episode, they basically they haven't confirmed it. No one said it out loud, but from what we gather, what happens is when you die, unless you're shot in the head or your head gets cut off or something, when you die, even if you're not bitten, you come back as a walker.
I don't understand that.
That's what happened with Randall. That's what happened with Shane. Randall got his neck broken. He wasn't bitten or anything, but they couldn't find bite marks on him, but he was a walker. And then Shane got stabbed, and he got back up, and he attacked. That was by the way, Carl, nice shot, Carl.
I know, right? He redeemed himself in my eyes from the last episode. It was cool. I like that shot where Carl's standing there with the gun, and his dad thinks he's about to shoot him, and then kill Shane.
It's just such a cool moment. So do you like that they have that new device now that, I mean, I guess it's probably from the books, but if you die, you automatically come back as a walker?
I just don't understand it. Like, I think the next season they need to explain why these people how the infection started in the first place, and how is it that when someone dies they become a walker? I mean, it breaks all the rules of the zombie genre. Like if you become a zombie, you either get bitten or you're somehow infected with it. But these people die. How do they randomly turn into walkers?
I want to see how they're explaining that. Also, I was talking to our buddy Richie, and he was saying that that's probably, I don't know if you remember, but the end of season 1 where they're at the CDC and they had the doctor there, and he was about to blow up the building. They're all trying to get out. The doctor whispers something to, I think it was Rick. That's what my buddy Richie thinks is what he whispered to him, that you don't have to be bitten or scratched by a walker. As long as you die, you become one.
Mm-hmm. I completely forgot about that, to be honest.
I mean, that was a great season finale last year. I know this year is probably going to top it, but last year was a good season finale. And I remember them doing that, but then I forgot about it too. But they had to, mention it or something. I mean, they're going to have the doctor whisper something. You want to know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Also, I liked, who's the guy who died last episode? I'm drawing a blank. What's his name?
Randall?
No, before this. Not this episode, but the last one.
Oh, Dale?
Yeah, I liked his funeral. It was real nice.
Yeah, I mean, what they did was where they're coming in and Andrea, T-Dog, Shane, and Daryl, they're killing the walkers, but at the same time, Rick is giving his little speech